What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Back with another one from the NB90S Vault. This time, we're checking into the 90s era of NBA basketball from the years 1994 to 1995 in Volume 3, baby. Go check out the playlist to catch the other episodes that were happening before this, Volume 1 and 2. And we still got Volume 4 and 5 in the NB90 series before we get into the NBA80s, all right? Let's get into it.
Oh, snap! NBA TV presents NB90s. It's the NBA.
Like he bought airspace. It went with the flow of Jordan.
Back in the day.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
In the decade when the shorts got longer, the players soared higher.
Elevates and throws it down.
And the game went global. We've got all the players.
The things he was doing, like, man, we never seen this before.
And the looks.
Detroit players.
The 90s were bad for clothes. We know this.
And rivalries that were off the hook.
37 points in like 15 seconds.
So chill on out. We're keeping it really real.
My general idea was to dunk on everybody.
Right here on NB90s. Shaq teaming up with C-Webb in 94. Things were about to get crazy in the East.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to report a trade.
But it was Penny Hardaway who would make a little magic with Shaquille.
I'm thinking Penny Shaq, you got the next Magic Queen.
The Chicago Bulls win 3 straight NBA championships.
But that run was in jeopardy once MJ announced he was walking away.
When I lose the sense of motivation and the sense of to prove something as a basketball player, it's time for me to move away from the game of basketball.
And what was on deck? Batter up, batter up, batter up.
Shouldn't have never did it.
His airness was going from basketball to baseball.
We've all played a little League baseball. And we've all dreamed about playing Major League Baseball. And there's nothing wrong with going out and living your dream, man.
At the time, I thought he was crazy.
I was a Birmingham Baron. All my people from Alabama was like, man, I'm going to see MJ play. I said, what, is he hooping? No, baseball. I said, huh?
Michael Jordan, the on-deck hitter.
When I heard he was gonna go play baseball, I'm like, you know what? He's probably gonna be great at it. Then he goes and puts a baseball uniform on with the socks and the thing, and he's running, and he's got these long legs, and...
I remember the pants being like long and his long legs, and he's 6'6", and who's 6'6" playing in baseball? Like, what are you doing, man?
I'm willing to take a couple of hits.
He crazy.
God bless him for trying, I mean, but do that on your own time. We want to see you do what you do. We want to see this. We don't want to see this.
And Michael wasn't the only legend trying out a new gig.
Let's welcome back an old friend of ours. We certainly will all be trying to do our best to help him become as successful as a coach as he was as a player.
I'm happy to be back, and I'm looking forward to the challenge because basically that's what it is, a new challenge. We'll do some work, baby.
Ball to Campbell, turns underneath, they block his shot. Good play by Kenny Norman.
Irvin Magic Johnson as a coach was not a good idea.
What was that?
Magic Johnson coming back as a coach. First of all, I don't know if they'll be able to see that picture. One of the worst ties ever. Magic had some of the worst ties.
I think he only coached like 14 games or something like that. Not many. It didn't take him long to figure out that, you know what? You gotta have players to be a coach.
Lakers have some serious issues again.
You could almost see him on the sideline kind of trying to will his team to do what he would do, and it's like, you know what, you're Magic Johnson, they can't do what you do.
Magic saying, guys, full court pressure. I've told you in the practice session.
You know when you conquer something and then you retire and then you say, hey, I want to do something else I love. I wanted to do this. Go ahead and try it.
You're not wearing your uniform under this, too.
No.
Who could that be?
David Robinson ranked among the 90s best, despite the confusion about his rank.
Is he the general or the admiral?
The admiral, or like Avery Johnson would say, the admiral.
Anderson and a 4-on-1 to the admiral.
You know, whatever. I'm not from the military, but I know his status. He was great.
David Robinson was a beast. He run the floor like a gazelle.
First to run. Robinson ahead of the field has it. Oh, a 360 spin.
David Robinson. Oh, my gosh.
Admiral, free in the lane.
What a perfect player. What a perfect man.
David Robinson, the Navy, man, what can you say? Always kept the guns.
He was like the first cock diesel center.
Hey, it's your neighborhood. You don't know it's his neighborhood.
He won the scoring title. He won MVP. He scored 70-some points. That's almost not heard of.
Give it to David. Double team by Woods. Takes the jumper. Yes! 71 for David Robinson.
To look back on it now and tell my kids, hey, I scored 70 points in a game, and they're like, you scored 70 points in a game? That's ridiculous.
In it goes, and this time Robinson beats the double team.
I've been fortunate enough to be able to do a couple neat things in my career, getting that quadruple double.
Down the lane goes Robinson, already with a quadruple double.
That was a lot of fun.
NB90s Volume 3 will be right back. This is NB90s Volume 3. In his rookie season, Chris Webber broke out his own Bay Area funk.
We talked about C-Webb, and you saw him at 12. He said, he's a pro.
This is where we were going in the NBA. We were heading in this direction.
He was the best big guy I ever played with. One of the most gifted and talented forwards of all time.
That's right down to Webber. He turns. Look out behind the back. And the step and the foul. What a play by Webber. Spectacular.
I remember Charles Barkley saying, yeah, he was pissed off that they made a commercial out of that.
He's trying to block it. Oh, wait, he's too high. He's too high.
He did get dunked on nice right there.
Chris Webber was hip-hop.
I called Chris the shoulder man. Everything was here. Like when someone danced, they dance like this. When he ball, it's like this.
Let's it fly. Oh, what a rebound by Webber over Mutombo.
Everything is here. That's my man. He could almost be a new addition the way he be moving. And I like Chris. Smooth.
He's got the biggest hands, and like he would catch everything. Like you throw him the ball, you're like boom, boom. He never dropped anything in the post.
It was like, yeah, come double me, come double. We'll put this ball out here like this. I'm gonna pick you apart behind my head, around my back, cross my face.
It looked like he was always bragging in his game. He was the chip on the shoulder guy.
Also out west, life on the road could get a little rocky for Denver's Mount Mutombo.
The mirror that I'm washing my face, I can't even see my face. I hit my head in this stuff here. So what I gotta do, bend my head, bend my knees to take a shower. So by the time I finish taking a shower, I might have a cramp. Who knows?
Man, there's night fly in my house, Smitty.
Fade away. Mutombo comes out of nowhere.
You will never dunk on Mount Mutombo.
Mutombo, the mountain.
Not in my house.
But Dikembe had it all locked down when it appeared the top-seeded Sonics were about to sweep his Nuggets out of the opening round of the '94 playoffs.
Young Mutombo was waiting for them.
And Mutombo comes over to swat it away. Kendall Gill, Mutombo again.
So he blocked my shot, he waved that finger. We were really going at it at that time.
Peyton, blocked by Mutombo.
Gotta love Dikembe Mutombo. Denver upset Seattle 1-8.
That's it. Mutombo embraces the ball. One of the great upsets in NBA playoff history.
The most miserable day of my life, you know, when they beat us. I hate that picture of him laying on the ground, holding the ball up. I mean...
When we won, I just grabbed the ball and I fall. I start crying because I just cannot believe we won this game.
With the Sonics out, the Rockets' three-headed backcourt was ready for liftoff.
Mad.
Vernon Maxwell was about it.
Maxwell for three!
You really didn't know what to expect with Mad Max.
Kenny the Jet. The Jet. I don't know where that part came in the Jet because he wasn't that fast.
Smith gets it off, and hits!
New York dude, killing us. killing us, man.
Kenny all alone, a three-pointer. Yeah!
Kenny can score that basketball and run the show. And he still lets you know about it today, how good he was.
Major League. What's up, man? What's up, man? How you doing, Sam?
Boy, man. You know, he was,
Sam
I
the
don't know how old
man.
he was, 21, but he played like he was 31.
Sam all the way to the basket, up, yes! Doing a foul.
Sam Cassell, the Predator. The guy has so many different moves.
Wheeling and dealing, another like smiling. Teeth for days. Sam Cassell had teeth for days.
Yeah, here I come. Sam Cassell, Sam I am. He would talk to everybody while still kicking everybody's butt.
Man, that voice gets on my nerves sometimes.
We have a name for him called a Ragged Man. He just go out there and he just plays.
Cassell was just a nightmare. Cassell came in and was just, wanted a ring in his first year, apparently, more than anybody else.
The championship chase was interrupted by the most infamous chase of the decade.
You knew something was up because it was such a big game, and there was this buzz in the crowd, and it was like the people weren't as focused on our game. And this is the NBA Finals in Madison Square Garden. You know, it's no bigger event.
We are, of course, mindful of the O.J. Simpson situation, and we will apprise you of any new developments.
Man, this is like the craziest thing I've ever heard. But there's the game is getting ready to start, too.
You can't be cutting away so we can talk O.J. Simpson. We don't care about that white Bronco. Put the game back on. My goodness.
The Knicks are going to be one win away from their first NBA championship in 21 years.
But after the Rockets tied the series at 3 apiece, the Knicks had a Game 7 to forget.
Starks again for 3. It's now 1-for-11.
We had so many games over the years where Johnny had struggled to make shots or Patrick had struggled, but they made them when we needed them to.
The Knicks don't get to where they were without Starks. Starks was having a good finals up until that moment.
Starks again for 3. Starks is now 2 for 17.
I was the only one in the old Summit in Houston with my John Starks jersey like this, playing myself.
You know, listen, we all wish it had turned out better, at least all the Knicks fans and Knicks players did.
We were close. We were close to winning.
That was the year I said to myself, Patrick is gonna do it. And then it all happened.
Elijah Wan, beautiful move.
He'd have you doing, like, he'd have you spinning around.
Certain games, he was just giving Pat the business. It's almost like Patrick was out there guarding Iverson or something.
Open Elijah Wan, tomahawk jams it home. And the Houston Rockets, led by Hakeem Olajuwon, are the world champions of 1994.
That's the inside stuff.
Hey, y'all like the show? Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag NB90. You are watching NB90S Volume 3.
We're the rookies of the year, and we love this game.
Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. The league was in their hands to take it to the next level.
Co-rookies of the year, I would have had a hard time picking rookie of the year that year as well.
Grant, you sure were good tonight.
Grant Hill was a monster in a Detroit jersey. Believe it.
Crossover dribble between the legs, gutting on the run, he got it!
We had that chance to rearrange the position small forward.
Buckle up! Oh, baby, what a play by Grant Hill!
I don't think anybody's played point guard like Jay Kidd since Jay Kidd.
You knew that, man, this guy, he's got a chance to be special.
He has one of the craziest basketball IQs on the fly.
When you play with Jason Kidd, you better be alert. You never know where that ball's coming from.
The great thing about myself and Jason, we knew that, you know, we were good players, and it kind of fueled you. It was a respect thing.
All right, what's next on the menu?
You can't forget about the big dog.
They said you had to feed the big dog because if there was one thing Glenn Robinson could do,
he could shoot. Woo! His shot was lethal.
Yeah, he could. That if you didn't come to play, I mean, this guy could go crazy on you.
He was like one of these dudes who didn't sweat much. It just looked like it just came too easy. And you're like, yo, man, you're out here with Barkley and Jordan. Like, yo, you better start sweating, man.
I always loved going to Milwaukee. Can't believe I said that, but I always did because I got a chance to go against the big dog.
Big dog.
Yeah, but knocking one down from long range wasn't quite the same feat when the NBA moved in the three-point line.
22-footer. Yes, and it's a three-point gun.
I didn't like when they shortened the three-point line because it seemed like everybody could make that shot.
Out to Rodman for 3. Hey, Dennis!
When you move it in, it becomes a layup for most of the people in the league.
I think I took the most threes out of my career that year they moved it up. I'm like, what are you doing that for?
Dennis Scott from the old three-point line, all bottom.
This is already feeling good to me out here. You're going to move it up some?
They said, JYD, we want you to shoot some threes.
There's no way Jerome Williams is going to take the shot from out there.
I still didn't shoot any, so they moved it back.
In the spring of '95, rumors were flying that Ed Jordan was about to soar once more.
Michael Jordan has returned, and he's wearing number 45.
I never was able to wrap my head around the 45.
It just didn't look right. It didn't fit right. It was 45. That's somebody else.
Welcome back. Hello, Michael. What's that big dog? What we got?
Came back, hit a game winner against me. In and out and knocked it down.
Jordan for the win. Yes!
Gave me the...
He is now back!
It was like bittersweet because you were glad he was back for the NBA.
They're on their feet. They love it.
Even if you wanted to kick the Bulls, but you wanted to see Jordan do his thing.
Yeah, and just 5 games into his revival, Michael took the Great White Way by storm.
Starks plays Jordan better than anyone.
You wanted Starks to lock him down, but just don't say anything. Don't agitate him.
Michael Jordan, who is now deep in conversation with John Starks.
You got a rusty Michael Jordan. If I'm ever going to talk trash, this is the time, right? And that's all he really needed was just some trash talk. And then it's like, okay, I'm back.
He was doing everything, dunking, running, shooting. The whole package was there.
He loves to play at Madison Square Garden. Put him on stage and you're going to get these kind of performances.
He came back and lit us up.
55 points for Michael Jordan tonight.
I love John Starks. He was such a great Knick, and he loved taking on all challenges. But just do it quieter next time. Like,
Yeah, I feel you, Mike Rapp. NB90S, we'll be right back after the break. Shh. In 1995, Sixth Man of the Year, Anthony Mason was a building block and a fan favorite at the Garden.
Anthony Mason, wow.
Anthony Mason is a true 90s basketball character. He's like 6'6", a muscle-bound point forward. He would handle the ball.
He was a freak. I mean, 6'6", 275 point guard. Should have been playing middle linebacker for the Giants or the Jets.
And he had this low handle. He was wanted to be a guard, but he also was like, I also want to do pull-ups.
Yes, he was the first player that in the history of the NBA that used his head as a billboard.
He had like these crazy like designs and quotes and I don't know what, like barcodes and like messages to like, you know, other planets, you know, in his hair.
Anthony Mason was a scary looking dude. He was a nice guy, but man, I'm telling you, when he stared at you, it's like, man, he looked like he could like eat your head off.
One other note, Charles Smith.
Whenever he got the ball in the post, help, I need some help.
Big boy.
When the conference semis rolled around, the Knicks and Pacers added another chapter to their heated 90s rivalry.
We used to battle with the Pacers a lot. Reggie, Spike Lee. It was amazing that the energy. So it was always drama.
They just matched up so well.
Reggie was the guy that pushed all the buttons that would say little things that would upset you, and that was the master at it. He used to get under John Starks' skin so much that John wanted to beat him up.
And John Starks has been thrown out.
Slowly, every year, the Pacers were getting closer and closer, and eventually...
Miller for 3, and he got it.
Reggie Miller hits a 3, it's like, oh, all right.
And it happened so damn fast, man. I still don't remember all of it, to be honest with you.
Inbound the ball, he pushes Greg Anthony, falls, steals the ball. It's like, oh!
And it's 105-102. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
So wait, we were up, how many, then you look to your friend, we were up, the game's tied?
But he clearly pushed me. you know, and he also embarrassed us. I got to be honest, you know.
Reggie Miller scoring 8 points in the final seconds. 37 points in like 15 seconds, right?
8 points in 18 seconds. We were shocked. We had that game in the bag, and what hurts the most is we ended up coming back in the series, forcing the 7th game, but that's when Ewing turned into George Gervin.
Down to 3, down to 2, Ewing, not over the hit, and it's all over.
Womp, 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 womp.
Way out near the midcourt line, driving on Workman. He forces up the 3. She had it!
But the Pacers' chances went up in smoke when they ran into a couple of magicians in Orlando.
Penny and Shaq, man. Penny was a beast.
Oh, what a pass! Oh, that's the pass of the year. Oh,
Those two back then just took the league by storm. Shaq, he was just Dunkathon.
Shaq and Penny were so fun. They were so interesting. They were so exciting. They were the new breed. They were the next Kareem and Magic.
The Orlando Magic's universally regarded as the NBA's team of the future.
They were on TV as much as anybody else. They had as many endorsements as anybody else, as big a stars as movie stars. You know, they had Penny and Lil Penny. I thought he had tremendous potential to be, you know, one of the greatest players of all time, pre-injuries.
Before Penny got hurt, I think he was as good as Kobe was around Kobe's 6th and 7th year.
You think he has eyes in the back of his head?
They had a kid named Dennis Scott.
And Dennis Scott, one of those guys that you just could not leave him open.
Dennis Scott was one of the best three-point shooters to ever play in the NBA. And he had a swagger. And the swagger went together with he and Shaq. They were almost inseparable.
Ping, ping, ping. Baseline fade away like Bernard King.
Yeah, but the defending champion Houston Rockets, they had swagger too, and they were poised for another run.
corner for 3, hit it! Mario Elie with a 3!
And they were making moves.
Olajuwon has David Robinson just bamboozled.
David Robinson, the reigning MVP, on top of his game. And Hakeem torched David.
I don't know if David Robinson had on tennis shoes that play, but I think he had on skates. The way he was sliding from side to side, the pump fake, the left, the right. The Dream was the best player on the planet. Of course, I got a taste of that in '95 when they swept us in the finals.
That was really the glory years for Houston in the middle of that decade, winning back-to-back titles.
Clyde had just come from Portland, back home to Houston, and back home to play with Hakeem, where they had played in college together.
Clyde the Glide finally gets the ring.
Classic Clyde the Glide. To have the honor to play with that guy and win a championship with that guy is probably one of the greatest thrills because he's gonna always go down as one of the best players to play this game.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Nah, never, Coach. And I'm Fab Five Freddy, and that's it for Volume 3.
Boy, do I miss 90s basketball. They brought up some good points there. I really like how they covered the big stories and the interesting stories that were going on during each of those years inside the decade of the 90s. That 1994 was just a bad time for sports in general. Michael Jordan, the NBA wasn't quite the same with Michael Jordan gone. There was definitely a void there with no Mike, really no face of the league during that time while he was off playing baseball. And of course, they showed the O.J. Simpson thing that was going on around that time. And then even with Major League Baseball, with the strike going on, that lasted from, I think, 94 to 95. I think it was settled in like April of 95, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you had all these things going on. So it was kind of a dark cloud over some of the major sports, American sports during that time. NFL, baseball, and basketball. So Michael Jordan's infamous "I'm Back," I'm surprised they didn't actually cover that part of it, was major. But I wish they would have, even if they just glossed over it, but they had to bring up, you got to bring up how the Chicago Bulls lost to the Orlando Magic. They just kind of skipped over that one. But I know they're trying to cram everything into 22 minutes, 23 minutes for each of these episodes. I get it. Penny and Shaq, they said Penny and Shaq. I was like, nah, in my head I was like, Shaq and Penny. It's Shaq and Penny. They were big time. And I've heard plenty of people, not plenty, I've heard a handful of people mention, they're like, hey man, Penny was like pretty much on Kobe's level or close to Kobe's level. And sometimes it's hard to imagine that very different players play a very different kind of game. But when you're talking about impact and how they can affect the game, it's something to think about, something to consider. But Shaq and Penny was a lot of fun to watch. And I remember some of it. I really do. I remember the little Penny commercials. They were literally on, you couldn't watch commercial break without getting a Shaq commercial and a Penny commercial in that same span for that break. It was really like that. Those little Penny commercials were amazing. But Penny Hardaway, one of the biggest what if stories, because he was absolutely phenomenal and so much fun to watch. I'm glad they brought up Grant Hill and Jason Kidd, but Grant Hill, another one of the biggest what-if players. I think Grant Hill could have definitely went down as possibly a top 10, a top 15 player of all time had he not got injured. The dude had a complete game. Not a whole lot of holes in his game. I'm dead ass. Offensively, solid. Defensively, solid. High basketball IQ. Could really pass the ball. Could crash the boards. Could shoot the mid-range. Could shoot the three. Could drive to the cup. Could dunk. Had athleticism. Like dribbling. Like everything. Like Grant Hill was nasty, man. Jason Kidd, I'm glad they mentioned him. He is my favorite point guard of all time. Don't think he's the greatest point guard of all time, but personally for me, he's my favorite. I love Jason Kidd's game. I love his passing ability. I love his competitiveness. I love his defense, especially at his size. J Kidd was just so much fun to watch in the half court and in the fast break. I got videos up about Penny Hardaway. I got videos up about Grant Hill. Got videos up about Jason Kidd. You can check those out. Glad they mentioned David Robinson. I recently did a video or two on him, maybe 3 actually. Really underrated. The Admiral was an OG, man. He was a phenomenal basketball player. And I'm glad they brought up Mutombo as well. Love me some Dikembe Mutombo. And I'm glad they brought up that wonderful series they had with that iconic picture of him laying on the floor. Hey, Mutombo, you got to buy a house that fits you. You got to get that house tailor-made for somebody your size.
I know, boo. I know. That house that they had on TV. Boo, I did not buy that house. Like I said, I can't take a shower, man. I can't take a shower without hurting my body. I can't. I'm Mount Mutombo. I need a house that fits my size. I do. But in the meantime, I'm going to go out on the basketball floor and I'm going to guard the paint. I'm going to hold the paint down. Nobody dunking on Mount Mutombo tonight. Not Michael Jordan, no. No. Michael Jordan never climbed Mount Mutombo. No.
Respect, man. One of the greatest defensive bigs who ever played the game of basketball. I've seen Mutombo literally change, dictate outcomes with his defense. I did. And of course, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hey, what can you say? That run was incredible, man. Like, taking down, like, other bigs. Like, this is something you don't get in today's league. Where, like, back in the 90s, it's like every other game or almost every game, there was a marquee big man matchup going on, right? Not so much. The fact that we got to see Hakeem take down David Robinson, just to see Hakeem come and take down Shaq, it's incredible, man. And these are 3 players, 3 bigs, traditional centers that were considered, many people say these 3 guys were probably top 5 players in the league at the time, right? Or something close to it. I miss it, man. I miss that era of basketball. Oh. Anywho, that's all I got to say about it. You guys let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear your opinion. Shed some light. Any memories, any stories you want to add to this, your general opinion, let me know what you think in the comment section, okay? I appreciate y'all for stepping in. Check out our NBA 90s playlist, NB90S playlist. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell. Benga, denga, langa, langa. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.